Hello, it's me, Miss Joy, Bonnie's Joy. Yay, you guys, we are here. It is course 4 in the 5-day Loving You course. We're almost there. Our first course was on fear, second course, love. Our third course, one of my favorites, flirt with yourself. And today we are gratitude. So have you ever heard anyone use the expression, appreciate what you have and not what you don't, right? That was something that was told to me when I was younger, and I didn't really know what that meant, right? And before I get into gratitude and expressions of that, one thing I want to state is that if you are in a position where your basic needs are not being met, then this is something that can be really challenging because you're on survival mode. Like if you're hungry, if you're not having shelter, if you're not in a safe space, this type of action and belief and lesson, right? Suggestions can be really challenging. I think that when we are in a safe space, when our needs are being provided, like our basic survival needs, like food, water, safety, shelter, then we can focus on other things, like having more of a gratitude type place. Because if you're on survival mode, there's a lot going on, right? So I just want to say that as a disclaimer. It doesn't mean that you can't have gratitude. It doesn't mean that you can't practice this. It just means that maybe because of those other factors, this one might be more challenging, right? So gratitude. How do we express gratitude? How do we change our thoughts, our actions, our words from not enough to more than enough? From I can't, why me, to I'm so grateful it was me, to that experience wounded me, to that experience empowered me, and I'm happy, grateful that I went through that. How do we do that? So when I started doing gratefuls, it was quite a few years ago. I went to a festival and found a piece of paper talking about the power of thought and talking about how we can choose to be grateful for our life and say those gratefuls to give ourselves a different perspective and to have a different feeling, right? So what I started doing is, then this was several years ago, before bed, and this is my first suggestion to you, before bed every night, I would go into my bed and then I would say out loud to myself all the things I was grateful for that day. And when I first started, I had a hard time finding things to be grateful for. I had a hard time. I was so focused and my brain was so trained to focus on all the things that went wrong, to focus on all the things I don't have, to focus on all the stressors and the demands of society, that I had a really hard time thinking of things that I was grateful for. It was very awkward and uncomfortable. And oftentimes I cried because I was just like, this feels ridiculous. I'm grasping at straws here. I kept consistent though. With all of these suggestions that I'm telling you, and I told you in the first course, it's about consistency. It's about doing it over and over again. It's about finding which techniques, which suggestions, which ideas you feel that works for you, and then doing them over and over and over and over again for weeks, months, years. It really depends on the person. And this is something that I kept with every night. I just would go to bed and I would just think from the beginning I woke up to throughout my whole day, what was I grateful for? What did I enjoy? What did I love? And I would say it to myself. I'm grateful for the sun on my face. I'm grateful to have a car. I'm grateful to have a shelter. I'm grateful to have food today. I started with the basics, right? And then over time, with this practice, it became, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. For example, remember how I told you in your beginning that you would need a handy notebook and a pen? My second suggestion is, of course, I'm sure you're going to guess, is to write it down, is to write them down over and over and over again, all the things you could think of that you're grateful, and do it consistently. So if it's once a week, if it's, you know, in times of hardship or challenge, or in times where you feel despair or sadness or anger or, you know, why me? Victim stance, especially during victim stance when we're like, oh, this is just because so-and-so did this to me or did that to me. And if they, you know, there's a whole scenario that we play in our mind, right? And everybody's different exactly how they do it. So I'm going to read to you some of the things that I wrote about things that I'm grateful for. And with time, now this took me years to get to this, okay? And I'm sharing this with you, not to say this is what you should feel or think or believe, okay? I'm sharing this with you to let you know about my journey and how I have grown since when I first started a long time ago. And I would just say them before I would go to bed, and I would just replay my day in my mind and think to myself and then say out loud, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit of my list with you right now, and I had wrote this a little while ago. Okay, so grateful. I'm grateful for shame. I'm grateful to scream. I'm grateful to be safe. I'm grateful to be loved. I'm grateful to be angry. I'm grateful to be honored. I'm grateful to be released. I'm grateful to let go of expectations. Ooh, that's a big one, huh? I'm grateful to cry. I'm grateful to have grief. That's a big one too. Like, what a shift, right? I mean, yes. And I have to say, I truly feel these ways. As I'm reading these, I believe this. I feel this. I'm grateful to smile. I'm grateful to laugh. I'm grateful to have sorrow. I'm grateful I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm grateful to love. I'm grateful for the pain. I'm grateful for releasing. I'm grateful for loss. I'm grateful to be cared for. I'm grateful to be single. At the time I was single. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for new chances at love. I'm grateful to be vulnerable. I'm grateful for fear. I'm grateful for change. And I'm grateful for guilt. This is a thing that I wrote just a little while ago. And when I was going to do this course, I found it and I was like, oh, well, the universe is always looking out for me and everything is provided. This is something that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of practice and set with intention. I am a firm believer that expressing gratitude on an extreme level, even for the things that bring us the most emotions and the most effect in our lives, and to be grateful for that, and to say, you know, I learned something, I gained something, I developed something, maybe values or morals, or, you know, not to do that again, you know, or to, yeah, I went that way and I don't like it, I'm going this way now. You know, lessons, right? Experiences, they're all experiences, and how we interpret them and apply them to our life is what makes the difference. It's really, it's not that someone else is living a better life than you. It's the fact that they've developed more ways of dealing with life and themselves and how they interact and deal with life. And then they also have developed like problem solving skills and understanding that everything is an opportunity for them to grow and expand, and that they're grateful for it, that they want it, they're excited for it. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to develop. I'm excited to change and expand and grow, right? This is what makes the difference, I believe, in my personally, is that it's perspective. It's what we say and what we think and how we perceive our experiences and how we apply them to our life that makes the biggest difference. And I have to say that expressions of gratitude have taken me further and have given me a lot. And I'm excited for things now. I feel better about the way I interact and about experiences I've had. Even in my past, I have changed my perspective from a viewpoint of gratitude, empathy, and accepting that, you know, that's what happened and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And trust and surrender. You know, it's a form of trust and surrendering that experience, although some of them are horrific, is something to gain from and something to apply in my life that can be of a purpose and service of myself. Like, for example, I experienced a lot of trauma as a kid, and for quite a long time when I was in my young 20s, I thought I took a victim stance, and I really was hurt by all the things that had happened to me. And over the years, I've changed my viewpoint and perspective about it, that those experiences have given me strength, that those experiences have given me the know that I am a leader, that I am here to share and to empathize with people who have experienced human journey, because it's a human journey, and I can't control what happened to me. Especially as a child, I can't control that. That's what happened. I can use that though and say, you know what? I'm going to have more empathy. I'm going to be more caring. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to do something about this and apply it to my life that brings a purpose that makes me feel good. And that I'm sad that those things happen to me and it wasn't okay that they happened to me. But I accept that they did, and this is what I'm going to do with it. I hope that makes sense. So yes, grateful, gratitudes. It does start small. I encourage you to start small and do it when you go to bed. It's the easiest for me to remember, especially, you know, I had kids, I was in school, I was working, there was a lot going on all day long. And I did it in bed until it became such a habit of me doing this that now I do it all the time. All the time, something will come up and I'll be like, I am so grateful that happened because now I learned this. I am so grateful that we went through there because now I know not to associate with that person or to deal with that. I am so grateful that we have this opportunity to expand and grow, right? Right. It does take time, just like all the things I've talked about in the last courses. So that is my day 4, course 4 of the Loving You course. And I hope you guys all have a great day. See you on the next one.